Parents of Reddit, what's it like raising Reddit? Reddit was much more mature when it was born than it is now. It's like that awkward child we don't know what to do with. Still not successful in stopping Reddit from making those immature your mom jokes. She's your typical baby. Keeps me up at night and I attend to her so much, I can barely work. There's one difference though. I don't read to her to put her to sleep. It's the other way around. Every time I turn my back, she's created 10 more crazy weird subs. I won't even talk about all the prawn I find. It's a thankless job, but sooner or later the little asshat will make it all worthwhile. Fine most of the time, but occasionally he randomly gets naked and garbages all over the furniture. Also does nasty things to coconuts. He is constantly asking me to break his arms and I have no idea why. I'm getting worried about all these furries watching hentai. He'll see something funny and repeat it enough times for it to no longer be funny in the slightest bit. Not a parent, but an uncle. Reddit's a fun little goober, full of energy and always getting into new interests, but I wish he'd learn his own limits. Sometimes he gets into these weird moods after hearing about some tragedy or war elsewhere in the world, and suddenly all he wants is to fix the problem himself. It's admirable, really, but he's just a link aggregator, social media site. He can't cure the world's illnesses himself. And it wouldn't be such an issue if he didn't give up halfway through then pat himself on the back for solving the whole thing. The little guy has something of an ego, suffice it to say. Keeps saying nice whenever we count up to 70. Removed. He used to be a bit rebellious, but he's starting to become more mellow. Can someone explain to me why he keeps mentioning broken arms? Is that some sort of slang that is supposed to mean something? She's all right during the week, but on the weekends she totally loses her garbage. Come Saturday morning she rejects anything that makes any sense and loudly broadcasts the most ridiculous garbage and senseless opinions. I try to make sure she's washed and fed, but otherwise ignore until Monday morning comes around. So many cats. Fluffing thinks he knows everything. Little garbage. Endlessly frustrating. I am impressed with who he has become, love that he is so accepting and willing to listen. Worry though that this may lead to his downfall and sometimes wish he were more selective in choosing friends. Vociferous, dogmatic, and has a propensity for histrionics. Delusions of adequacy and authority are abundant. Reddit vehemently refuses to parse propaganda which renders them susceptible to manipulation. It's like raising a teenage on the precipice of radicalization and I can't discern which ideology is most beguiling to them. Has a bunch of different personalities that range equally from amusing to disturbing. Makes you both proud and disappointed at the same time. Better than raising 4chan. He's a good boy. It recently caught a big cold but we try to heal it with a quarantine. Hard. Teenagers think they know how the world works. I get it. I was a teenager not so long ago and I was sure I had it figured out. I think the hardest thing is people don't understand the difference in the realities of raising kids versus the fantasy of raising kids. Everyone is the best parent before they have kids. Their kids will be perfect angels because they will never do things like have screen time, eat sugar or fast foods, make a peep in a restaurant, act like an adult from birth. I really am going to turn this car around. For a serious answer, I have found that social media, Reddit, etc. has made youth much more closed-minded. They surround themselves in an echo chamber of like opinions so much, all day every day, that they are 100% convinced that every opinion they have is right. The meme becomes fact, and is reinforced by the echo chamber. The result is it is hard to get kids to learn how to see things from the perspective of others, and question their own beliefs. To view anything with moderation and other than black and white. It's frustrating. I may make dad jokes but they're solid. I thought yesterday I had a great joke about astronomy and nobody got the joke and/or ignored it. Well Reddit my boy, I think you're too negative. You need to get out more and have a positive outlook on life. Go on a hike and realize how much good you can do for the world. Every once in a while, you're rewarded, and it makes the struggle worth it. It's difficult at times because I was unprepared for how many unproductive and even harmful echo chambers can exist on such a platform. And steering my now adult, former teen kid away from them sometimes results in a "you don't know anything because you're old and clueless" attitude, despite how well I've tried to raise her. Still trying to explain to them nothing is free. Free healthcare, schooling, etc. has to be paid for somehow, huge taxes. Was to this whole thread. I read it and was amazed. It's a difficult child, but I've raised him better than my other child. He's called 4chan. We don't talk about 4chan. It gets into a lot of weird garbage and it doesn't look anything like me. Frankly, I'm starting to get suspicious. Reddit lies, tells fantastical stories and is constantly playing Chinese whispers reposting, but darn it if it doesn't keep me entertained and informed at 2 a.m. He's such a little attention whore, constantly asking for karma for low-effort bullgarbage. He doesn't have a good sense of humor either, thinks that inside jokes and bad puns are the pinnacle of comedy. Reddit is a good kid at heart, but I worry about him sometimes. About the same as Mama Twitch is having with her child Twitch plays Pokemon. He never shuts up about his pet snail, he insists it's a decoy snail, and I'm not really sure what he's on about. I dunno, he keeps garbageting the bed and rolling in it. Op, I love you. It's so difficult getting the stains out of his poop socks and jerking shirts. I am not the parent, but it's a full-time job. Every time you turn around someone has their pants down. Politics somehow makes its way into every conversation, eventually. It's frustrating. You try to steer them down the right path, but then they start spewing TRP, MG-TO and TD bullgarbage, and it takes everything you have not to disown them. I equate it to a father watching millions of his daughters all become strippers. Hasn't been the same since it broke both its arms in the swaps of Dagoba while eating a Jolly Rancher sad face. It's too loud, always lies, and once tried to fluffing piss I'm my ass. I can't answer the question because not only am I new, but my own son turned me onto Reddit because I got tired of Facebook's bullgarbage. All I can say is that I enjoy myself here, and I can do more, say more, explore more topics and learn more on this site. It also seems to have far less trolls than Facebook. If Reddit was considered to be better several years ago, then I should have been here during that time as well. Well, what the fluff is this question and #X200B, what has this sub become? I thoroughly believe about 50% of commenters could use a good butt whooping. It takes lots and lots of patience. You have to always be careful what you say in front of it because it can throw the worst tantrums ever, but, at the end of the day I love the little rascal and I wouldn't trade him for the world. Average Redditor. Not a parent, but Reddit really needs therapy if it has that many parents. It's like trying to defeat a kraken with one hand and sift through reposts with the other. Still, Reddit's worth the effort. Who knows, maybe one day it'll leave home for college. My PR for raising Reddit is 5 reps at 120 Reddit-units. Puns. Once he starts it's difficult to get him to stop. But when he does finally stop, he likes to self-congratulate with a "we did it Reddit, it's weird." Apparently Reddit has a lot of mamas and papas. It's getting rather chaotic. Red keeps watching Prawn and getting into arguments over little things with other people. And she can be darn creepy at times, but sometimes she comes through with a surprising talent or a lot of kindness. She's also good at taking pictures of animals looking cute. Overall, I couldn't ask for a better daughter. I heard this somewhere else, but I thought it was an excellent analogy. It's like having a happiness faucet in your house. Most days you can just grab your bucket and fill up all you want. Every once in a while it backs up and spews garbage into your house for 2 straight days and you're left sloshing through with waiters on to fix it, but once you've cleaned up you still have a happiness faucet in your house. I wish it wouldn't show me its prawn collection so often. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. It's hard, sometimes a little detached from reality, and when I go into its bedroom I find horrific things in shoeboxes in the closet, or coconuts that have been, well, I'm not sure what happened there. I have failed you, Reddit, I have failed you. It's like having a lot of these conversations. It's fun watching him play, but every once in a while they take a massive garbage post and you have to clean it up. It's fine. My 5-year-old doesn't know anything about the internet yet. I clean so much garbage that isn't mine. Wipe my own ass. Wipe kids' ass. Clean cat garbage. Waiting for my wife to start garbageting her pants any day now. Jokes. ITT, no actual admins. Always asking about conspiracy theories. Dr. Cox said it's like having a dog that slowly learns how to talk. Quote, "They're the most treasured thing in your life. You love them more than you love yourself and desperately need to get away from them once in a while. It's fluffing embarrassing. Typical teenager. Spends all of its time regurgitating memes other people created, arguing about which way the toilet paper should go on the roll, and talking about poop knives. Complains about never getting any sleep and not having any friends, but freaks out when I suggest getting off the internet for a while. And don't even get me started on the drama if it gets downvoted. Frankly, I can't wait until it turns 18 so I can kick it the fluff out of the house."